What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It's me, resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, here with another edition of the One-on-One with a Supervillain. And so you already know what these are. We're round and round and round the bend. We sit down for an hour, talk about a lot. And again, it's been amazing throughout this time that from each conversation within a month, so much happens because it's 2020. But I'm back with the homie from Chi-Town. We're going to talk about it. Mr. Adalberto Rios, what up, bro?
What's going on, sir? How you doing?
Hey, man, look, you heard what I said, like in the past month. A lot of shit has changed, shit. So,
hey, man, you're in another movie. That's fantastic.
Yeah, man, it was fun, man. It was nice. I had to start learning about accepting, like, I'm not always gonna have these big major roles in films. I'm cool with it, but the fact that I'm in movies, and I've been fortunate now that when I'm in the movie, my scene or whatever is with the star of the film. So that helps. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was kind of dope, man. It was a good process. It was a good thing. It was fun. I got to be physical on set. I got to do what I can do. So, it was a nice moment, bro.
You're just body slamming people, huh? Just up and down. Boom.
Damn near. Look, you know what? Damn near. I'm not gonna even lie. It damn near was that. People. I told a couple people, because again, I'm under NDA, but I told a few people exactly what I did. I was like, what I had to do, and yeah, yeah.
Hey, you're physical. You can do it.
Hey, man, look, I didn't put on these muscles for nothing. I didn't lose all this, dude. I was doing a self tape earlier. Matter of fact, when we get done with this, Wes is coming over to help me finish it up with the self tape later for a TV show. And I put on, like how we're in this day and age now with this quarantine, COVID, and everything, where you rarely put on clothes.
Yes,
like,
I agree with that.
I knew throughout everything I had been losing weight still. That was one of my biggest things. I didn't want to, because it was too easy to be just in the crib and not do shit. And so, because I had lost weight, and like I said, everybody knows I went from a size 46 to a 38 in my jeans, which was like, I ain't been in a 30 shit since high school. So, man, I put on a pair of jeans today, and I was like, oh, these bitches fit good. They still my 38s, but that's the thing. The reason I say this, because all I've been wearing is joggers. Like, it's been this thing where all I do is throwing on some joggers and some jogger pants, because you can't really go nowhere, so you ain't throwing on no real clothes. So I'm like, even when I was flying out there to Chicago, when I fly back, it's like throwing on some joggers and a hoodie. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't all this extra shit. So what's been good with you though?
Just work, man. Just hit the gym, hit the work. Just try to figure some things out. I just recently started wearing joggers. I normally just wear jeans, but I'm like, why?
Hey, man, look, you ain't gotta wear them. Like, I'm learning, bro. If you ain't gotta wear them, I've never in my life had so many pairs. I usually have like 1 or 2 pairs of joggers, but recently I got 3 pairs of regular joggers, and I got like the casual pant type joggers. I got about 3 pairs of those. I was like, I'm good. They don't need them. I was hearing one of my homies. I saw him put on Facebook earlier. Motherfuckers finna start fucking up the gyms again.
Really?
Because I heard y'all already starting to slowly shut shit down because the case is shooting back up. And he was like, motherfuckers in the gym without their mask on. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I do see that a lot. I keep mine stays on, so I'm good. But.
See, and I, in some cases I do understand, because again, depending on the type of mask and depending on what you're doing, it can be like trying to run with a mask on is almost like, if you run, it's damn near impossible.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's the only time I take mine off is when I'm running. If I'm not running, it's on. If I'm doing weights, if I'm doing anything, it's on. But
because if you run it with a mask on, not with the cloth mask, it's like you're trying to run from a kidnapping.
Yeah,
like. Because like somebody trying to catch you over your face and, like with chloroform or some shit, as you trying to run from a kidnapping. And so I was just like, also, that's another thing, dude, this hoodie, this sweatshirt is a 2X. And this motherfucker's got just room in it. I was like...
Not on the shoulders, brother, not on the shoulders.
Oh, I feel out the shoulders. That's a whole other story. But but like, back to the gym, like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I see, I get it. Like, yo, I can't run, because I was trying to do that when they had the little gym thing for a minute here. I was like, I can't run in a mask. I can't.
No.
Like, I understand you want, I completely understand the safety and the health precautions and everything we doing. I'm 100% with that. I get it, but it's like this is the one workout where I can't breathe because I'm like,
dude, I'm the same way, man. It's just I can't breathe in it because I don't wear just the cloth mask. I wear the ones with filters.
oh, okay. Does that work?
I don't know, but it makes me feel more secure. Like you got to go through the cloth and then the filter, and then I can breathe. So I have that extra layer of capturing shit that comes through, but trying to run in that like in the beginning it's fine. The minute when I start sweating, it's like suffocation.
Because I bought one of those train with the filters. I didn't buy it because everybody was buying them for outside. I was like, nah, if I'm gonna get one of these, I can get one for when I go to the gym and run and shit like that. And my concern was because again, it's neoprene first and foremost. And so when I start to sweat, my face, that neoprene is gonna suck it all up. And now I'm around here just with like, down my face is if I don't take a shower in the first 20 minutes after I take it off or wipe my face down instantly, that shit can go wrong. You saw me look at my phone. I beat YouTube. I keep beating YouTube every week.
They keep taking down the videos?
So they took down the post-election special.
Why?
The Avengers thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Disney claimed it. But here's the thing, like it's been viral. Like it's been a viral clip that y'all didn't take down off Twitter or nowhere else. It's a viral clip. And then I always got to keep telling them every time they do it, like, yo, we are a show that does commentary on these things. We're not using these for specifically profit. Yeah. And so they just sent the email. They released it, I think, yesterday, but they just sent the email today that said they released the claim on it.
Okay.
Dude, Blurs in the Hood would actually go hot, would be, what's the best way to say it? Blurs in the Hood would have a hell of a lot more viewers if YouTube didn't keep fucking with us every week.
I can see that. That sucks, dude. That really.
I mean, but like I said, we fixed it. We fixed it. We got it. I got it, back. I damn near got a copy and paste for every time I'm disputing shit with them. Like, here's what's happened. I even told them, I literally put in this one. I put in my recent disputes. I'm like, yo, I feel like we being targeted. I was like, we are two black dudes talking about a black show. And every time we do this, every time we talk about the shit, we keep getting our show pulled. Like, yo, what is going on? And again, I know it's YouTube and people are like, well, if you don't like what YouTube doing, you can leave. But it's like, we'd love to migrate the whole shit to Twitch, if that was easiest. But everybody ain't on Twitch like that.
No. Yeah, man, that's insane. Like, I get it. They don't want their lawsuits against them, but come on, man. You can't just keep pulling every video.
Here's the best thing. We get these copyright claims. This is the best one that happens. This is shit that only me and really Winston know because we only see the emails. When I play Karen clips, dog, I get a copyright claim that somebody owns the clip of somebody else's fucking video they took on a cell phone.
How is that possible?
I don't. I'm assuming that somebody. Well, there are certain companies that will see clips of shit and buy funny clips and buy them to own the rights, right? But if I take a video of some shit and all of a sudden it airs, and like I want to see now, I want to test it. I really want to test. I want to make a bullshit Karen clip just to see if it copyright claims it.
Okay.
Because it never. I'm like, yo, how are you copyright claiming of somebody who uploaded some shit from, like, if the person who it is directly ain't copyright claiming it because the shit didn't spread? Because when you post some shit like that, you want it to go viral. Yeah. That's what you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm posting this. I don't want just my followers on how many followers I have on whatever social media platform to see it. I want everybody to see, because I need this asshole exposed. You know what I'm saying? And so I see that, man, and I was like, okay, bet. But yeah, man, other than that, man, everything's been, everything is good. It's weird. I think I told you, like, I'm hella bored sometimes being here because, like, working and shit is, when I do shit in front of the camera and all the shows and all this other stuff, it's cool. But in general, it's just like, I like to be able to get out. Mm-hmm. I'm one of those people that can go to a bar and don't have to drink all night. just to be out in that environment.
Yeah.
I know it sounds hella weird. A lot of people are like, wait, what? Yeah, I can do that. But I mean, granted, I know at this rate ain't shit shaking until at least February. We got to see what happens.
I would probably say probably till next summer.
Well, I get February the earliest. Reason I say February because hopefully we'll have a full transition of a new president and see what goes on. Summer 2021 is going to be a whole different ball game in itself. Speaking of which, how was I? So I saw the video. Motherfuckers was celebrating like crazy. But what were they doing because of where you at?
Nothing happened over here.
They didn't celebrate. No honking.
Oh, a couple honkings, but nothing like major. Nothing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, because of course, like, like some people would gather in places in which we'll get to that in a second. But like, yeah, because my thing. No, like, because like you knew when the results came out because you would just hear horns and shit and all the videos. So I didn't know, you being on the east side, what is predominantly it's a heavy Mexican population over there.
Well, I'm a little bit more west.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you know what Trumbull Park is, but I'm more closer to Trumbull Park. I'm just saying. So I'm not.
Did you see the phrase I had to give you? Like,
I'm just saying, I'm closer to other people, not the Mexican population.
Okay, I got you. So yeah, because I was just wondering, like, what would it be like over there? Because again, it's so weird when you found out a bunch of motherfuckers still voted for dude. And you're like, you realize whenever I hear any Black, Latin people, especially Black and brown people, when I be like, yo, y'all realize these motherfuckers do not like you.
Yeah. Like I know one dude who's only Republican because he says like, hey, slavery was done by Democrats. Why would I follow them? It's like, I get what you're saying, and I believe you. Like back in the day, Democrats were rich, Republicans were poor. But it's flipped now, and they treating you like crap. Why are you supporting these dudes? Why are you supporting?
Like you tell them, like, yo, the Democrats that started slavery are the current day Republicans.
Yes.
Like what you just basically said. It's like, yo, did y'all not? For everybody who act like they paid attention and they studied and they know history, it's like, no, you clearly don't. Like you clearly don't. It was a dramatic party flip. Mm-hmm. Like, I know a dude, a buddy of mine. He's a Republican. He's a Black Republican, and the reason being, he was like, financially, things with taxes and shit like that, with money and their ideas are like that. And I'm like, well, I guess it's that fiscally conservative thing. Like, I don't want taxes. But I'm like, okay, I get it. Nobody wants a bunch of taxes. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But at the same time, you're making it seem like you make $200,000-300K a year, and you don't.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You don't.
See, that's the thing. That gets me. Like people that are making over $400K are paying less taxes than we are. Mm-hmm. How is that okay?
Not even that. That shouldn't even be a question you ask. The question should be, how is it you're not you directly, like people who support them? How is it you caping for them that you don't want them to pay more taxes? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the biggest thing. I saw people like, well, because the excuse they tried to give is if they start taxing the wealthy will start firing people. I'm like, that's not how that works at all.
No.
I don't know who told you that at all. Yeah. But also, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying, man, that's.
But also, like, you know how everybody was like, man, thanks to Trump's tax cuts, blah, 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 I'm good now, right? What these motherfuckers don't know is if it's either next year or 2024. I think we said about it on Blurs.
Yep.
They're finna get slammed. And the first thing they're going to do is blame Biden.
Yep. What tax cuts? I didn't get any tax cuts.
It was a certain thing. It was a certain way of like, it was like you had to make a certain amount of some shit like that. And I don't know how it works because I don't think it affected me. All I know was his tax thing. What his tax thing affected was what I claim when it comes to filing taxes. Mm-hmm. Where if I didn't have my daughter, if I didn't carry my daughter, I would owe. You know what I'm saying? One of those.
As a single man with no kids, what tax cut?
No, I get you. No, because again, I technically file single. But I literally claim for dependents on purpose because I know I can claim my daughter. Because I try to get them to take as least out as I can. Because I'm like, again, if I let you take out what you just really gonna take out as a single dude, I don't have anything.
Yeah, trust me, I know that. That's why I'm always people like tax cuts. What tax cuts? When do I get a tax cut? How am I, who at a long period of time was making less than 30 a year, was having to pay extra money at the end of the year, every year? Like, what tax cuts?
I know a bunch of people got screwed with that for the past 3 years. And again, they were like, again, I'm kind of glad all this is over in a sense, but it's not because he's dragging it out. But it's like nothing that anyone thought was beneficial for the average American wasn't.
No.
Like, the fuck are y'all? As you can also tell, this is a different. If you can't tell how the look is, this camera is kind of dope right now. I want to thank Dwayne Burke, who came through and let me borrow his old camera. he let me borrow this, and I was like, because he got a Canon, it's a DSLR, and now, so what Canon did because of the quarantine, they updated a driver that can turn their cameras into webcams now.
Yes.
So now it's like everybody who had these DSLRs were like, damn, I got to buy a webcam. Like, no, if you got a good DSLR that's like a Canon or whatever, you just download the driver and now you got a webcam. And this shit look like a movie, me talking. I'm like, I look kind of basic in here.
It does not have to be a DSLR. It could be a mirrorless.
That's what it is, a mirrorless. Yeah, that's what it is. And so I've been now looking online because I know he's going to, I'm not going to keep his camera, like I respect it. I appreciate it. I'm like, now let me just see, hopefully try to figure out, let me see if I can find a camera like this comparable. Cause I just, again, not working and shit is kicking a nigga's ass. Let's just call it what it is.
Check out Walmart.
Yeah, but here's the problem with Walmart. Here's the only issue with it. I'm gonna be real. I don't like people. And I've been in Walmarts a couple times.
Oh, I'm not talking about go into Walmart. I'm talking about go online. They have some nice camera deals online.
Oh, I was just talking about working there. I was like, no,
not working. I was about, because I just picked up a, as you can tell how nice my camera is. Like, I just picked up a M200 mirrorless.
Okay.
And a set for like $550.
Yes, here's the thing. I think, and me hearing, like, again, I've never had to, yes, I got to invest in myself, especially with doing self-tapes and all this other shit. You hear this whole, you got to invest, and then you hear how much, and then you like, man, that's a lot. But then when you think about how much motherfuckers are actually paying for other cameras, like just a basic camera, like two stacks, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I saw those.
Oh. Because, like, okay, all I need to do is get a base, get a nice little lens like he gave me, and I can keep doing all my work I got to do. I'm fine. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna look into that. But yeah, man.
Like I bought a kit. So the camera the camera and the lens is only about, I think it's like 300 at most.
The lens was?
The camera and the lens together.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. But like I got like one of those like small tripods.
Yeah. What was the what's the millimeter on your lens?
15 to 45.
Yeah, because this is like 18 to 55. Now I'm on 18 right now, and this shit got me looking amazing.
Yeah, I don't know what zone I'm on. I'm on one of them settings, but like I can zoom in and out now. Like
that's another thing. Like with these cameras, I can actually zoom in and out. I don't have to, if I'm stuck with just what I got and all that, I ain't got to do all that. So having this has been like, because again, I'm trying to not only do this blurred shit and all the other shit I get to do on the internet, I got to do that I get asked to do. And luckily they've been paying, like, bro, I think that's been my say. If I hadn't made the name who I was as Jay Washington on the internet, I'd be around this motherfucker like, well, y'all, this is my suicide note.
I disagree with that. I fully disagree with that.
I probably wouldn't have done. I probably wouldn't have went that far. I just wish, I think the thing that sucks too, well, I'm glad it's happening again, is when the industry, like the film and TV industry, shut down, again, you get, myself and Winston both know, like when you start getting roles and you book a shit, you like, cool, I can keep this going. This is going to build up to something big. That you just hear, okay, that's what this is. Okay, cool. So then, to book the thing I booked, I was like, okay, shit's still happening. I got an audition. I got a big audition that I'm doing. It's one of these things. Like I'm auditioning for a show for somebody I've talked shit about verbally and vocally loud, and I was like, fuck. Because literally, I was like, yo, I sent Winston a text about it. I was like, hey, bro, so I've talked shit about this person a lot. You know it. And I got an audition for their show. And he was like, he just put LMAO just hard. Was talking.
Hey, hopefully you get it.
Look, you know what? I'll take the check. I'll take the check. You know what I'm saying? I'm not above taking the paycheck. Like, hey, Jay, do you need this check? Do this? Yes.
Hey, there's been a lot of great actors that just took a job for a paycheck.
Look, Samuel L. Jackson. That's how he amassed his money. He took every script you gave him. So I can't be mad. Shit, man. I can't be mad. I'm just trying to make shit happen, bro. I think that's just thing now. It's so weird when you look at it. We are 8 months into this.
Jesus.
We're 8 months into something in the world, as the world collectively. Look, not even just, yes, we are fucked up as the United States, but as the world collectively, we are 8 months into this shit. Again, England just went back on lockdown. France went back on lockdown. But again, you and I, when we first started doing the 101s, was like, yo, soon as cold and blue season come around, shit gonna get real again.
Hey, Australia and New Zealand are opening up now.
Well, that's because Australia and New Zealand been like, yo, we not playing with you motherfuckers over here.
Yeah.
Because they also, think about it. What's one of the biggest things Australia and New Zealand have now? They got a film economy coming out there. You're not gonna fuck up that. You got not small, you got major blockbuster films coming out here to film this and boosting up your economy. Of course, y'all need to can we do this right so we can all be back, make this money we were making?
And get this, their government gave their people money to live off of while they were locked down.
Well, that's called their government is competent.
Yes.
But also, their government is. You know what? Let me not even say that. Let me not even say that the government is just competent, because it's not just that. This government here in this administration is trying to find every way to keep money for themselves on the books. They shortcut again to sit there and say we can't afford to pay people to stay home, when what you're trying to do is save lives. And again, we had that discussion. How people be like, well, it's not that the mortality rate ain't high. That's true. We get it. But who the fuck want to play Russian roulette with their lungs? Yeah. Because that's what you're doing.
Too many people lost their lives through this stuff, man.
But they don't care. That's the thing. I watch the news now a lot just because I want to see how everybody's handling and just talking about shit. And over the past week, I have watched Fox News a lot. First of all, after the announcement, Fox News tears. Scott Mackerson tears. I felt like Eric Cartman. Scott Mackerson tears. Tears. That's how I felt. But when you realize, see, a lot of people don't get this. The word America, when you hear them use that, it's not. People don't even get that. It's not America. It's America.
Yeah.
And for those who may be watching this video and don't get what I'm saying, America is not the West or the East Coast. It is literally what we call the flyover states in just the middle of the country. Yes, there are Trump supporters on the West Coast and the East Coast. Absolutely. But that's not what's considered America. It literally is not. America's in the middle. And so you watch that and then you're like, oh, they got the motherfuckers who more than likely, who could be the states where people literally could be out of the dark instantly. They got them the most hyped up. Think about it. Minus some of the major cities in some of these states that have a lot of people. If we got a town of 400,000 people, let's say 200,000. I just need y'all to lock down for 2.5 weeks. Don't go nowhere. Don't have nobody come here. Let's make sure we get this down. It's easy to do that.
It actually is. Yeah, you're right.
Very easy to do that. Then, okay, listen, but try not to. I get we did what we were supposed to do, but if you're gonna travel, please make sure it's absolutely necessary. And if it's you just gotta go, make sure you're safe when you go to other places because they may not be handling it the same way we are. So what happens is people who were safe in their little small town in Oklahoma, Nebraska, whatever, go to somebody in Texas or Mississippi or Georgia, people who don't give a shit because they're just like, whatever, this is what it's gonna be. The flu kills more people, which that argument has to go away now.
It does. It really does.
And now they catch it, and now you bring it back to that community of 400,000, and now that spreads, and you wonder how the fuck did this spread like wildfire? Again, this shit could be right now. I wish this was the first go. I just said it before. This should have been the first go round.
Yeah.
But it is, man. If you have noticed, I'm still I cannot believe I'm actually gonna do this for November, bro.
Do it, Ben. It looks good. It looks good.
But don't when I tell you how many people been pissed off at me all day?
Haters gonna hate, bro.
Well, because my homies are like, Nick, like this is really just the homies just being, funny. Like,
oh yeah.
Wait, you're not bald? I was like, no. You choose to shave your head? Yeah. They were like, why? I was like, I don't want to deal with the upkeep. It's just real. If I had my hair, I'd have to make sure I'm trying to get it cut every 2 weeks or so. I got to do the full washing and everything, keep my shit clean, oiled, all this good shit. I could just shave it, scrub my scalp, oil my scalp, go. 4 days later, shave it, scrub my scalp, oil my scalp, go. Also, guess how much I save each time?
I get it, man. I get it. Like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm finna shake this up because that's another thing people don't know. My hair, as you can tell, my hair grows fast.
Okay.
My hair grows quickly. Like this is like less than a week.
Okay.
This is less than a week from the last time I shaved. So by next week, it'll be thicker. But what I'm about to do is I'm gonna shave the sides down. I'm gonna trim it up. I'm gonna see if I can get a faux hawk going by the end before Christmas. I'm gonna see if I can get it.
Do it.
Here's the thing.
Do it.
If it don't work, guess what? I've already been bald. Everybody.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like if it don't work, I'm still just the same. That's just bald. That's just Jay. Like it ain't this nigga that went bald. It's like no, he was always bald. He just experimented with some shit. Plus, I want to be able to have at least one headshot with hair.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I want to have something be like, okay, because a lot of black dudes be bald all the time.
Yeah.
But this way, if I grow my hair, have a picture with some hair grown, and you be like, okay, how long would it take for you to grow that out? Like, yo, if you really need me to grow some hair, if it's for a major role, give me like 2-3 months. And you know what I'm saying? Depending on what time you got, give me 2 months or just get a wig made just like this or something. You see how I look with hair. Because it's hard to imagine sometimes people with hair when you just don't see them with it.
Okay.
So yeah, man.
That's some good thinking.
It just really hit me because again with acting and shit, you got headshots and you got to look a certain way, but it's also good to have multiple looks. And so, like the one thing I'm skeptical about doing, I know if I'm gonna do it, I got to make sure it counts. Is take a headshot with just a bald face.
Okay.
Because again, there's always this. So when you audition on tape, you always got to say your name, and they'll ask you the question as a dude: are you willing to shave? And so I'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Of course, as somebody who's trying to get the role, you always say, yeah, I'm willing to shave. When all actuality, you be like, please don't make me shave. Like, it's so funny. I have this thin low, but it's like you can see almost, but it's like because of it where it is, it's not completely bald. And it's like, okay, it's a difference. Yeah. I know if I shave my shit, I look like somebody's old uncle that probably shouldn't be around the kids by himself. Like, what's wrong with this thing? Like, so I'm gonna probably do that but again, it grows back so quick. So if I shave it all off in a week, I'll have after after I train it, when I shave all this shit and just keep it going, it'll be back to where it was. It won't take long. That's the blessing I have with my hair. Like, again, everybody was always so funny because I was telling my daughter's mom last night. I was like, yo, I might try to do a faux hawk. And she was like, are you okay? I was like, what do you mean? She was like, are we going through a midlife crisis? I was like, what the fuck do you mean? She went, because like her and I, we're cool again, but she was like, she's like, you're 40. I said, and? She was like, you are not 25. I said, I know. I said, you ain't seen these motherfucking granddaddies out here? At least I ain't out here wearing skinny jeans and shit, talking about what's up, young ladies. I'm just trying to do something different. And she was like, well, don't let me change your mind. I was like, you kind of did already.
Hey, one of my good friends, he's close to 40, if not over 40. He had a full hawk for a while.
It just depends on how, if your head look. I feel like this, any hairstyle can work if your head and your hair let it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some people, everybody be like we from Chicago, so we see a bunch of dreadhead niggas all the time.
Yes.
Your head is not made for that.
They have it though.
I heard you take that deep inhale though.
Dude, it's like white boy, take those out. Like, just stop.
Everybody wanted. So here's the thing about, like, I remember when I first saw dreads on a white dude, I was like, yo, should he have dreads? But then I realized, oh, Vikings had them.
Okay.
So I'm like, historically, white people have had dreads. I'm like, okay, historically. However,
my answer would be the same thing. Wash your hair. Take out those damn dreads. You stink, bro.
That is something that don't happen. Like, my son is growing them. And he know how I feel about him. I told him, I said, yo, you live your life, express yourself how you want. I said, the only thing I require, if you're going to keep that hair, and I know, again, it's not my choice at the end of the day. You are a young man. This is your hair, not mine. I said, but for me, as a father, as a parent, just wash that shit. that's all I want. Just wash your shit. Like, that's it. That's all I want out of him. But I was like, yo, I even looked at myself. I was like, Addy, do you think I tried to pull out a twist? And then I looked at myself and I tried to picture me with twist. And I was like, nope. I said, nope. You ever just try to picture yourself with certain hairstyles and be like, nah, that's not going to work.
Well, nowadays, I just picture myself with hair and going, where did it go?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's why I'm bald. I'm going bald. So I just said, yeah, I just let it go. Like,
here's the crazy part. So I've been shaving my head since I was 18. Damn, it sounds like you just took that inhale like you motherfucker. I felt that hostility in that inhaler.
I started last year.
Here's why. So for me, it was just, and I have the funniest reason why I started too. Bro, it was my graduation for high school, and I didn't go get a haircut. And I needed to cut my hair. My hair needed to be cut so bad. I was like, yo, fuck this. And I just happened to have clippers, and I just went, and I did clippers, ball, smooth ball, boom. Then a couple days later, I just was like, you know what? Let's see. And after a lot of looking like a second day period with tissue on my head, like I look like I was a second day menstrual cycle because of the way my head was bleeding. Like, nigga, I was between bleeding, and then I was like, I'm on the last day spotting, because I was just, when I first started shaving, I just didn't know that there was a curve. You know how when we find out when we first start shaving, you're supposed to follow a certain way.
Yes.
And you can't, you know what I'm saying, when you think you got stubble, you can't just be like trying to dig deep and shit. And then I did, and I was scratching up and tearing up my damn scalp. And so
I'm too afraid to do that, man. I'll be honest with you. I'm too afraid to pick it. I'm like, just get the buzzers and get it down short. That's good enough for me.
And them big quote unquote sensitive skin razors, those yellow joints, were the ones when I first started would tear my goddamn scalp up.
Yeah, they're
because it's that one little blade. That one little blade, and I'm like, I remember once I'm believing you not. I remember one time I shaved and I guess I was rushing and I was like, and I just saw a whole flack of skin go down. I was like, because it hadn't started bleeding. And I just felt, you know, you feel it, you're like, ugh. And I just looked at it and I was like, and the problem was it was like pronounced. So I couldn't, like, I knew I was rushing because I had to be somewhere. So I was like, fuck, how do I go out with a goddamn, do I put a band-aid on my head? What do I do? I did everything I could to stop the pressure from my scalp from bleeding so fast. I ran water on it, peroxide, alcohol. It got to the point when I finally got it to slow down a little. I was like, all right, let me put some Vaseline on it. I don't know how the fuck I thought that was gonna work, but I did Vaseline on it. It was just like
liquid Band-Aid, man. Just liquid Band-Aid.
Well, now they didn't have those before. That wasn't a thing at the time. Like that's always my fear when I like have a real big audition or something, or I'm finna go film something. Like if I'm filming something, I ain't never got to worry about it. Okay. Well, it depends. If I'm filming on what's a SAG film, I know they got real good makeup artists that can cover shit up, that can make it look like nothing's ever happened. Fine with that, right? However, if it's a non-union joint, I'm like, fuck, y'all gonna see all of this. Y'all gonna see all this shit just.
That's just like, oh, that was makeup. Nothing happened to me. It's just makeup. That was makeup for the movie. That's all.
Oh, it's so funny too. I've been blessed. You already know I tell everybody I'm blessed to be on sets and stuff like that. And like I think the first time I ever was in a makeup chair, it was a weird experience for me because I was like, I'm a dude. I'm not getting makeup on me, right? Again, I just started acting. I didn't know nothing about this. And then I looked at my skin. I was like, look at this shit. But then I forgot when you go home, you have to wash it off. Because I forgot I had it on. I woke up the next day and was like, what the fuck is on my pillow? The fuck is on my pillow? And I was like, oh, I didn't wash my face. And that's something you can't just tell nobody like, hey, man, I forgot to wash my face last night.
I'll tell you this. If it's one thing growing up with sisters, I know all about cleaning your face and makeup on.
Well, I used to watch my mom because it was just me, my brother, and my mom. My mom raised the two of us. My dad died when I was 4.5, going on 5. And so my mom would always have these different makeup things, but she was never one to do a lot of makeup. Mm-hmm. Her skin was just like, she could do enough to just cover a few little, like, you know, like pimples she may have popped and stuff like that just to even it out, and she's good. So I didn't know anything about that. And then, you know, I would get shit like Noxzema and things like that to clean my skin. But now I'm like, okay, I got a charcoal mask to make sure. Again, because once you realize it sounds egotistical and conceited, but it's like now I have to make sure this is as good as possible.
Yes.
You know, and I almost, not gonna lie, I almost was in Target, because we don't call it Target, it's Target. Mm-hmm. Respect it. I almost went into the beauty. I was like, excuse me, I need to get something to, you know, say to even my skin tone out. I had to catch myself. I was like, man, you're not gonna go ahead and buy no makeup just so you can use every day. Because that's the thing. Just you can wake up in the morning. All right, let me go ahead and make sure I got all this together. Like, but that's the thing out here with now, you know, people, especially some of these celebs, like these A and B list ones, where they like, because you never know when the camera gonna catch you. Like, I kind of get that, but at the same time, catch me as a regular fucking person. Like, yo, why Jay got pimples? Nigga, because I probably didn't drink enough water. Or I haven't been getting laid. It's one of the two. Did you ever know that growing up?
Nope.
That was a thing?
Nope.
When did you find out?
Today.
You didn't know that for real?
Mm-hmm. Never knew that.
They say it's something about the hormone, because when you have sex, like your body releases certain hormones. And like, if you don't have sex in a while, you can develop pimples. And this is the weirdest way I found out about it was from my aunt. Now I know you're like, yo, was you fucking your aunt? No.
That's not what I was thinking, but okay.
My aunt had a pimple, and I remember her boyfriend at the time, who was a cop. She was like, you got a pimple. He was like, why you got this pimple? She was like, what hasn't happened in a while? I'm not paying much attention. And he was like, oh. And then I started hearing more people say about it, like, oh, if you ain't got none, your face can break out, which is so weird. Like, I was like, all right, well, if I ain't got to get done, I will beat my dick like it owes me money. Do I got to make sure I release? We walk around here. What's wrong, Jay? Your face look like a goddamn Star Crunch. Well,
Star Crunch, really, dude. Star Crunch.
A Star Crunch. Well, I ain't got none, so now I'm just sitting around here looking like I'm going through puberty for the first time. Fuck, you look like you're going through puberty. What's wrong with you? Who hurt you? I'm a grown ass man talking about hey, hi guys. Can I complete? Grown ass man doing that.
Hey,
grown ass man.
Dude.
You told me. Hey, everybody, listen. Oh shit. So they didn't send out a public safety alert for LA. This is what it says. LA City. COVID-19 cases are increasing. Please wear a mask and social distance. Get tested if you have symptoms or might have been exposed. LA City is offering free testing with results in less than 24 hours. All about time they announced that, because everybody was sitting getting tested and had to wait 2-3 days. It's like, nigga, I could be dying.
So there was 2 things I said to you that I was completely wrong about. So I think I should clear these up right now.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. First of all, America's not as racist as I thought it was, because they actually more voted for Biden than Trump. Surprised by that.
However,
I didn't say he won. I said they all voted more for him.
70 million motherfuckers still, but I got what you're going. Okay, so that's one.
Well, to be honest, I thought it was going to be like 80 million racists, and then like everybody, like the lower number being like normal people.
Wouldn't be surprised.
But there's still 5 million less racists than I thought there were. But like that.
This is true.
Second, so after we had that whole conversation about Giordano's, I ended up getting some like the next weekend, and dude, it was good.
Told you.
Like, I don't know, the service sucked. These people were rude as shit.
The service ain't shit.
But I ate that pizza and I'm just like, damn it, I know Jay, an apology.
Everybody always lose. Like, no. Show that Giordano.
Dude, I'm telling you, I haven't had Giordano's this good in a long time.
Which one did you get it from?
Evergreen Park.
I'm trying to think, where's the one at Evergreen?
It's right across the street from the Evergreen Plaza, the one that used to be the mall.
The one that's still over there. Okay, yeah.
I went over there.
That's that legendary one right there.
The last time I went there like 5 years ago, and it was garbage. And that was good. Right. And that was good. It's like, I don't know what they're doing, but
sometimes it take a little bit of change of staff. See, here's again, like I said in the bath earlier when we did, like, I love Giordano's. I will get a lose. You know what I'm saying? I'll get a bit of home for all of them. But if I have to choose, like if you're like, yo, you need to pick one, nigga, give me a Giordano's. I'm good. Like, first of all, I understand if I get a Giordano's, I'm gonna have to clear my schedule because I'm not gonna be able to go to the bathroom and I'm gonna be waiting for it to finally happen. I'll be waiting for it to finally, because that's the other thing too. Like with the Giordano's, like if you eat it, you have. It sounds weird to say this, like you gotta eat it hot just so that cheese can make it through. Because if you let it get cooler, you got a block of mozzarella in your guts. Like, oh.
You got to limit yourself too, man. You can't be having like half a pizza.
Oh no. So again, let me say this. Now I'm like, no. This is Jay now. 2.5 years ago, Jay, fuck you talking about? 2.5 years ago, I'd have been like, man, give me half this pizza, man. I'll kill this and then probably eat that other half later.
Yeah.
But now this Jay who cherishes his life and his weight loss, I'll give probably 1 or 2 slices, and I'm good for a while. Like I don't want to touch it. I'm good.
Dude, that's all you need. That's all you need.
Because the thing is, like, those are pizzas that are meant, you know how like a regular thin crust pizza, you're supposed to go like on an average, you go through it, boom, it's done.
Yeah.
Whether it be giant triangle slices or squares, which
Yes.
I don't know why people don't understand. Squares are better than triangles. You get more pizza for your buck.
I think it's the same thing. I don't know.
It's a mental. It's a mental.
I get that. It's like in my mind, it's like I've been calculating it. I'm like, okay, you cut here, you do the measurements, it comes out to about the same.
No, it's the same. I mean, it's the same amount of pizza, but it just feels like you get more. Because think about it, when you got a triangle, that's a giant chunk gone. Right? Once you eat that, that's a giant chunk gone.
Yes.
So now those other slices and diamonds, as soon as they're gone, that's it. But when you have squares, if you eating with your eyes, your stomach, and not your eyes or something like that, you gonna put a few pieces of squares on your plate, and you're like, all right, this is what I need. I'm good.
Yeah.
But it depends too. But again, it's like it just ooh.
I'm a crust guy, so that triangle space, I know I'm gonna get a nice piece of crust with that.
I am a crust dude, but it varies. It varies on the place.
Okay.
It honestly varies on the place. I remember my aunt, who the same aunt I told you about that told me about the pimple thing. She would order pizza, and this is something I've never been a fan of. You state this now. She would always make sure her crust was crispy, extra crispy. I don't like crispy crust for my pizza.
Okay. Respectable.
I'm not a crispy crust. I guess because all the pizza I've normally had, the crust is cooked, but it's thinner, it's malleable and all that other stuff. But just that no.
Not that crispy. Like I like a crispy crust, but not that crispy. I'm not eating potato chips.
Yeah, it should sound like a communion wafer. Like, I don't want this. Am I eating pizza in the body of Christ? Huh?
Who bites down on a communion wafer?
I mean, that's true. That's true. Somebody who hungry. somebody who got the communion and was like, man, hey Lord, I'm gonna need 2 bites of your body. Like, like you take one for the sacrament, the other one is for your satisfaction.
Nothing like some blood to wash it down with.
Man, I remember when they told like certain companies, because I remember when I first started having communion, because I went to a Catholic grammar school.
Okay.
And so we had communion, but they made sure because it was a Catholic grammar school, it was grape juice. Mm-hmm. Cool. But the adults got the young wine. You're like, okay, whatever. But then I started going to another church, Progressive Missionary Baptist Church in Chicago on 84th and Ashland. And they would do communion every first Sunday. And they was like, no, this is actual wine. And they was passing it out to everybody. I was like, oh. I was like, they pass a little plate around with the communion things. You take one. I'm like, take one. Cool. Then I realized it was wine. I was take 2. Thank you, Jesus. What's the other one for? I'm going to give the Lord praise later. Like, hey, man. Like, I mean, I just didn't know about communion. Again, I remember because I'm not Catholic, but I went to a Catholic school. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I used to always think that was weird too, like because I was like one of a handful of us that weren't Catholic in my grammar school. The majority of us that went to the school, the majority of people that went to the school were Catholic, and so they knew about everything and all that. And I was like, okay. And then I didn't know about priest fucking altar boys, or all that, but that wasn't happening at my grammar school. Like the priest dude, he was cool. Like we loved Father Allen. Like he was a black dude almost, but he was just white. And like there was never anybody talking about some Father Allen had me go in the back to dig in the bottom of the barrel for the wine, but he said I didn't need to have shorts on. There was never a thing like that. Like
that's not every father.
No, but that's the thing. They made it seem like it.
Yeah,
that's the one. I think that was the one. Like again. We talk about generalizations with a lot of shit, but that was one real big generalization. Like if it was a Catholic priest, they were automatically fucking kids. And it's like, that's not true. I mean, granted, more often than not, it's happening because we see the evidence.
Yes.
But it's like, that's not just always what's happening. Everybody just every preacher ain't like, yo, to give respect to the Lord, touch your ankles. Like, that's not how this works.
No. I mean, there's been some Baptist churches with same kind of issues.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just some people are just wrong. They just need to be fixed. Plain and simple.
Yes, that's the best way to say it. They need to be fixed. Yep.
Because yeah,
It baffles me a lot. Like I don't understand, don't know what's in the mindset of somebody who's just like, I need to fuck these little boys.
the devil, man. That is straight up 100% the devil. Like I can't think of any other.
That's what I'm saying. It's like what makes you think that Timmy's tight tookus is what you need to get? I'm so mad I said Timmy's tight tookus. Is
Wow.
Is what you need to get through shit, like, and to let go. Like, if you're gay, you're just gay. There are places you can go,
Yes.
meet gay people and have gay sex. And I understand religious wise, now it's in some cases it was a sin back then.
Mm-hmm.
Now more religions are more accepted, especially the Pope. The current Pope is more accepting of it.
Yes.
And so, like, yeah, you could sneak and do your shit back then. Like, you ain't gotta take the innocence of a 9-10-year-old.
See, that's the thing. That has nothing to do with like, oh, I'm gay, so I'm gonna do something with a little boy. Like that has nothing to do with. That's just
No, I know it's like
head.
it's sick, and it's because again, rape is about power. It's not about sexual any fantasies. I've always known that, but it's just that's when you hear that, it's like,
yeah.
Oh man.
Like I like there are some priests that break their vow, but they break their vow with women, not children. You know what I mean? So that does happen too.
I mean, the thing is, I guess I always said this growing up. I grew up looking at homosexuality weird because I was taught that from the church. Like, yo, God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, all this other shit.
Yeah.
You remember hearing those things.
I didn't really grow up Catholic. I became Catholic as I got older.
Mm.
In my 20s, I became Catholic. Like I was raised saying, "Hey, you're Catholic," but it was like I was never really Catholic.
Okay.
I didn't go to church. My dad was Catholic, so hey, you're Catholic.
Mm.
But like I never really did anything Catholic.
Okay.
I think when I hit 17, I completely just dropped. No, when I was 16, I dropped all pretenses. Like I never called myself Catholic. I didn't call myself Christian. Like I didn't go to church. I was just like, hey, I believe in God, and that's kind of where the line stops. Like, so it wasn't until later on when I got older that I became Catholic.
Well,
I had a lot of conversations.
You did
with priests, yeah, about like pedophilia in the church, about vows and what it means and homosexuality, and like, because I was like, hey, if it's like you have to hate these people, then I can't do this.
Right.
So
I saw so many, like I said, growing up in church as Christian, you would always, there was never, and especially in black churches, there's always been gay people in the church, aka the choir director. Like everybody, 9 times out of 10, you knew the choir director. Like 9 times out of 10, because sometimes might have been a dude and he was married and straight and all this. We don't know what he was doing behind closed doors, but it was most of them. If he was a black choir director and you knew, like, this motherfucker's like Georgia, you knew what it was. Okay. And so you see that in the church. Active member in the church on Sundays in front of the congregation before the Lord. So you're like, okay, the Lord you can't tell me the Lord is going to demonize a person in his house for serving him.
Yes, I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me that. So that made me start seeing things differently. That made me start seeing things. I grew up with a friend. I always tell everybody, I grew up with a friend, light-skinned dude, was a pretty nigga. Like, this nigga could have anyone. He had girls in the neighborhood throwing themselves at him, but he was gay. And I used to, again, growing up, I was like, nigga, you got all this just scattered vagina being tossed at you like a beanbag, and you were dodging it like it's American Gladiators in the assault game. Like, why would you? But I didn't understand that. And as I've gotten older, as I've gotten older, I've seen it more. I've seen it more. I've been friends with people who are in the LGBTQ community. I think the one thing that really, for me, as I got older, I had to learn a lot more about were trans people. That was the thing for me more than anything.
Yeah, that's
That was for me.
I mean, we're close in age, so growing up where we grew up, when we grew up, like it's not the same thing as it is now. Like we have to learn what it is and what it's about, and so
it's just look for people who are watching this. That's literally what it is. We had to. You grew up like if you saw a dude who dressed like a woman, you didn't say he was trans. He was just a gay nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Or just call him a drag queen. Hey, he's a drag queen.
Or he was a drag queen.
Just move on. That's it.
That was it. You didn't know that he was, because again, it was easy to be a transvestite. Because that was what if you weren't a drag, you were just a transvestite. You just like to dress like a woman. You weren't potentially transitioning into being a woman, or you just like to dress feminine, or whatever the case may be. But that's where you grow up. And again, we are all products of we're not always products of, but how we grow up and what's instilled in us are our first impressions of things. So now you have a lot of people who have to understand like again, as most dudes, let's just keep it real. We keep it a buck with each other. That's how you and I always been. Most dudes see two women, and that's just a dope thing to see.
Yes,
it's just sexy as fuck. And that's just the normal perception. But you see two dudes, and you're like, "Oh, nigga, why is you with another nigga?" Like, it was just the normal perception of what you saw.
You have to like teach yourself, like, hey, you can't think like that anymore. Like, this is not the correct way to view things. Yeah, I fully agree with that.
You just had to change. You have to. And again, it one thing I think too, especially in this day and age, I understand that the LGBTQ community is making a lot of strides. They are still pushing their fights and whatnot, and they have the right to. But I think you can't instantly demonize people who don't know, who just don't honestly understand. There are communities that have still shunned people like that, and unfortunately, there are people that have been shunned, but then there are people within those communities who shun people who are trying to learn, and they can't openly learn. So when they're trying to learn, if they don't know quickly, you can't shun them. You can't be mad at them like, how don't you know about this and that? Like, yo, you don't get where I came from.
Like, and the advancements, they've made so much advancements in such a short time. Like, you got to give older people time to catch up. Like,
yes, I think that's the biggest thing. The best point you could have made. That's another thing, because it used to be back in the day, there was no such thing, and you weren't hearing about people saying, okay, I want to transition, and within a year to 5 years, if I'll give that at the most that I can think of off my own perception from what I've seen, they've transitioned. You didn't see that growing up. Now it's for lack of better words, an easier path for someone to assume the true identity they want to assume.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Now they can just be like, they can find the programs and go through all the processes, whatever they need to go through. But back in the day, it wasn't that simple. So now when you see it, like you said, older people are just like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah. And I think that's the problem as society. That's why, again, when it comes to that whole left and right shit, that's one of the things I'm like, yo, y'all got to understand. Yes, things are changing. Absolutely. But at the same time, there are certain things just in life in general that have changed before people's eyes in an instant. And it's a shock to the system.
Yeah. I mean, just look at some of the stuff that was going on TV 5 years ago. Stuff that has been looked at now going, oh, that's so wrong. Like, yeah, it was fine then, it's wrong now. Like, that's how fast things changed. Like, in 5 years, it's a completely different ballpark. And then
I tie that into like with stand-up, how it's like, people got mad when Dave Chappelle joked about the LGBTQ community. And it's like, yo, first of all, if a man who's making a joke about that community got a blessing from one, it's not saying it's a blessing from all. Because no comedian ever has ever been funny to everybody. That is no such thing. It will never happen. Comedy is subjective.
Yes. 100%.
Just because you felt offended doesn't mean that's what the person set out to do. Excuse me. Now, there are some comedians who go out to say, man, these fucking dudes out here cutting their dicks off. Like, there are comedians being assholes like that.
Yeah.
There are those, and those aren't comedians. Those are just people who want to use a platform to say shocking, edgy, and just bogus shit and call it under the guise of comedy. Those are different. But you have people who are like, I'm trying to learn shit. I got to talk shit. This is what I see. This is my perception of it. Again, the perception of certain shit may not be what it is. To me, I see a bunch of dudes I know now who decided to transition to women. And to me, it's just like, okay, I get it. You want to be you, but like, you would see a dude be like, yo, you like 60, bro. Like, to me, I have to be like, okay. But everybody sees things different. And I think we got to stop jumping down people's throats so fast on that.
We need to open up communication again. We need to have conversation with people and start talking about things that we find offensive, just to see where people are at. Like, instead of canceling everybody, we should have a conversation to find out where everybody's at. You know?
Well, I think that word, the problem is that you said one word that says it all: offensive, because what you got to put it in the context now. What the fuck is offensive? Because
True.
Because now anything can be perceived as being offensive when it's like, just because if it's taken out of context, like, yo, it's offensive to you, but is it offensive to anybody else? Oh, because you're upset. Like, you see people all the time, like, oh, you didn't like this, so you want to write a blog post, put a bunch of tweets out because you're upset and you're hoping to find a bunch of other people who are upset like you. Yeah. But then you get mad when you find out there are a bunch of people just as equally who are not offended. And yeah, and I think the problem is we do need communication, but we need communication without these.
Yeah. I mean, these are supposed to help us out, help us find more information so we can learn more and become better people. But instead we use it to negatively attack people.
Mm-hmm. We've sat here now and we've used our phones and social media in general to be our voices as a whole, which again, social media reaches so many people. And it's a beautiful thing to keep people connected in a sense in that way. But the connection it does virtually, there's a giant element that's lost on conversations in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I'm one of those people that if you follow, like, I have this thing. This is the Chicago in me. And so you might, but you're not on Twitter like the way that I am with the interaction with people.
I can't. I'm not a vocal person, as you can tell. Like, I'm more kind of like back in the background of things. Like, I'm watching every Blurred episode, but I'm not in the chat room.
No. Like, so here's the thing. So here's the thing with me. Like, so I can talk to you and we talk on Twitter and we converse and blah, 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 blah. If I see you in person and I know that's you, talk to me the exact same way. Because I'm going to approach you the same way.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying in a negative aspect. It's like, yo, what up, homie? Woo, we was talking about this, when I tweeted you this and we was talking about that, blah, blah, blah. That's the same thing for me. Now, I understand also that, yes, what social media does is it helps a lot of people who are, socially awkward, I guess, if you want to say, or who can't handle in-person conversations and stuff like that. I understand that. But I see a lot of people like be on Facebook and everything. It's like, yo, if y'all gonna hang out together. I went to a comedian hangout. One of my homeboys, he got a crib, got a pool, do a lot of shit in the summer, and motherfuckers all coming to hang out, and on a chat in a group or on a thread, motherfuckers kicking it hard, but in person, everybody just silent. Like, yo, don't do this shit. Like, don't do that. Like, everybody just be who you are.
It seems like they can't be who they really are. Like, they're putting up a front when they're on social media, and when now they're in front of your face, like, oh, I can't say that, I can't do that. Like, that's the problem. Like, I am better in person than I am writing in a chat room.
But you openly acknowledge that too. I think that's the difference. There are some people who will not acknowledge that a social media personality is different than the person. Like, I tell people off jump, who you talk to on Twitter or Instagram or whatever is the exact same dude you gonna meet in person.
Yes.
Like, I'll tell people, and I tell people sometimes in a heartbeat, if you see me in person and I'm quiet, low key, I'm hella shy. And it seems like I'm shy, but I'm actually being observant of who's around me, what's going on. Once I figure out my comfort level with that, then you just get me open. But I'm not the same. I'm not this, all of a sudden you come to me and you're like, damn, you were cracking jokes on Twitter and all that. What happened? Well, that's just something I do behind the keyboard 280 characters at a time. Like, no, this is the same dude.
Like I get that, but you don't always need to be cracking jokes every time you're out in public. At the
Oh
same
no,
time.
I'm not just saying. No,
Yeah.
I'm not. Of course, I'm not. Hell no, man. Listen,
I'm just saying.
Oh no,
I'm
you
just
know
saying.
that. But as a comic, I hate that. Yo, I hate that shit for the life of me. Like, yo, as a comedian, you do not have to be on 24/7. You can be around people and be regular. I've gone to parties or get-togethers out here. I wouldn't call them parties. Get-togethers out here, and there be comics and people trying to run jokes on each other, and that will instantly pull me away from any conversation. I'm like, yo, where's the regular motherfuckers in here? Like, I could hang out with these comics all the time out here, but if we had a get-together and y'all trying to run jokes on each other, it's like, yo, this ain't the moment for that. This ain't that. Like, yo, let's just keep we kicking it. We all cool. There's a lot of shit in the world going on. There's real shit happening. Let's just talk about life. You know what I'm saying? I get it. If life gets too stressful and you want to talk about comedy, we can talk about it in different ways. But what you're not going to do is you and I sit up and you just running jokes and hoping I'm laughing and giving you tags. Like, because I will want to punch you in the jejunum. Now, I don't.
Yeah.
But I do agree that we need to communicate more. I think it's amazing how social media has given everybody a voice, even people who don't deserve one. And you know, they say everybody should have a voice for certain things. No. When it comes to social media, everybody shouldn't have a voice.
It's why I keep my voice quiet, because I don't deserve a voice on social media. I got nothing good to say. I'm good.
Well, my voice has gotten me banned on Facebook.
Again?
Well, so here's the funny thing. This is the wildest shit. I'm supposed to be banned on my second page. Right now, I'm supposed to be banned for 30 days. Okay. Because I called some Trump chick. I said, I called her, you dumb yamp. I said, I think I called her a bitch, BYTHCH or something like that, whatever. So that was like my warning from Facebook, whatever it is, like 30 days. The way I did it, I literally tried to appeal it. I literally appealed it. Was like, y'all didn't get what I was saying. And all of a sudden, my account is open. I can post and everything. And I'm like, okay, let's see how long this lasts. Because if I look on my page, it says my ban is still for another 21 days. And I'm like, all right, I'm cool. Because what I had to do, what I realized, so, you know, if you go, I don't know if you noticed, if you go on Facebook on your computer, you can, it'll ask you to do this do you want to do this icon thing to click to open up?
Yeah.
And then if you let somebody else sign in, it will ask if you want to add that so they can just click on. Well, because it was just me, I would have both my pages on there. So what Facebook knew was, oh, you got two accounts. So they said they would lock both at one time. When I got blocked for 3 days, they locked both. So I was like, okay, so what I got to do is make sure when I sign on one, I don't ever attach another page to them. Okay. So let one go and that's it. And I was like, okay, I got it. Because they was out here trying to get you, boy. They was out here trying to get a nigga. I was like, okay. But I say all that to say I have to learn how to just say these people can't be helped. And that's literally when it comes to Trump supporters. Because again, they'll go with this, well, we can just agree to disagree. And I'm like, this ain't one of those agree to disagree subjects.
It's either they're racist or they're completely oblivious. Like that's how it just comes.
Or a combination of the two. Because everybody's like, well, how can I be racist? How can Trump be racist and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, motherfucker, the Central Park 5, the housing situation. Well, this one white dude, he's a comic, and I had to block him because I was like, okay. First of all, let me say this. He is like 6'4", 3-something. He knows I will fuck him up in person. I have scared him several times. This is just not trying to be a brag about hard ass, but it scared him because he thought I was going to whoop his ass or some shit. I was like, I'm good. So I blocked him though. He will say a bunch of shit. Was like, well, was Trump racist when he was hanging all these black people and rappers back in the 90s? Yes.
Yes, he was.
Yes. They're like, how was he racist? Because green is the only color that matters in that situation. Money can hang with money and you still don't like black people.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you so surprised? But You know, all of that. Then people say, oh, well, he can't be racist. He hired all these people. Would you hire, would a racist hire these people? What the fuck was slavery? I mean, granted, they were slaves, but they were working. You had workers. You could have hired a bunch of white people to do the job who said they wanted it or stuff like that. But, you know, when you argue, when you go into discussion with them, they're trying to be like, oh, well, you don't get it. You're just, you know, lost by the Democrats and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, first of all, who told you I had any political affiliation? I didn't. But I can automatically see what this bullshit is. Again, you got a dude in Mitch McConnell who not only is the full incarnate of evil, he is like if Trump is evil, McConnell is Satan, legitimately.
I believe that, yeah.
He is Satan come to flesh. Yeah. And I was, you know, I'm like, yo, the state of Kentucky is the poorest state in the United States of America. The poorest. It has stayed that way for a while. And they consistently vote in a senator who has done absolutely nothing for them. Nothing.
They need term limits. All these guys need term limits.
Yep.
2 terms and you're out. Get us somebody else. Like this whole like
because this whole you can be a senator as long as people keep voting you in. That shit is
that is just wrong with this country. Too many people could stay on their seat for like way too long.
And again, the fact that people in Kentucky there was a dude like I think the reason McConnell didn't win. I mean, not McConnell. Yeah, McConnell. No, McConnell is one and Graham is the other. That's the different one. The reason McConnell didn't win is because again, it's a woman who was going to beat him.
Are you serious?
I'm dead at Amy McGrath was running against him. And there was no reason that he should have won. She was like, she broke out on even the fucking like debates and was doing everything and talking about how he didn't lead as a leader of the Senate and blah, blah, blah. And McConnell just laughing, right? And people still voted for him. Lindsey Graham in South Carolina should have lost to Jamie Harrison. But because of the fact, the way that, because this is all media, the way that Fox News spent the story of how people who were supporting him were just these radical left liberals and all this, that, and the third, because they spent that story. When they did that, that's what sat there and was like, people were like, oh, no, we can't have this. And it's like, okay, all right, cool, bet. Now, this Georgia runoff going to be real interesting.
Yes.
Because what it is, those senators that are in Georgia now, it's so funny because Georgia flipped blue. As of right now, it's flipped blue. Even with the recount, it's flipped blue.
Yes.
People voted. There's no voting irregularities. People voted. The Georgia has a Republican governor, a Republican lieutenant governor, and a Republican secretary of state. And the 2 Republican senators are basically like, nah, you need to the secretary of state, you need to step down. They want somebody to fix the election for them. Because they know if motherfuckers showed up like that to vote for the presidency that caused a runoff, they will vote them out of office.
Yes.
And so you'd rather maintain this level of power than do what's right. Again, you want the paycheck, you want the power and the perks. But when I know it sounds cliche, but when you go into politics, you are a civil servant.
Yes.
It's cliche to say, but it's the truth. And yet and still, people who get these kickbacks and say, hey, well, give me this extra 25,000, it's 30,000, the easiest money you'll ever make. And now you're like, I can't lose that control. But it's never been the way where any politician is fully given all back to their constituents. Like, again, everybody's like, well, what about Barack Obama? He was still he was president. Okay, yeah. Presidents do what presidents gonna do. You know, whether it be a drone strike, did anybody, I hate when motherfuckers be like, oh, they're perfect President Obama. Nigga, ain't nobody ever said Obama was perfect. Oh man, again, this whole thing, I just want it to be done because I see it like this. As of now, we all know we have a president-elect in Joe Biden. They are arguing over Philly, which again, even though it's been proven Philly ain't got shit going on, it don't matter.
Yep.
Right? Now motherfuckers trying to say, well, in Michigan, they already debunked everything about Michigan. Because again, Philly don't matter because Nevada and Arizona are Biden's. So he still has the votes. It doesn't matter. That's why he has 290.
Yeah.
That's why he has 290 because Arizona and Philly are here. I mean, Arizona and Nevada. But I want the shit because even if he makes the inauguration or if Donald Trump legitimately is allowed to steal the election, because this motherfucker's putting everything in progress in position to steal it and to have it stage a coup. Now, if he steals it, I feel like this. If he steals it, that should be the call for another, not even a civil war, an American revolution.
Yes.
That should be a call to a literal revolution. Because now what he's done, if he does that, you're literally saying you can never in this country's history, never ever in this country going forward anymore, have an election.
Yeah. What's the
you
point?
Can never
you're
have
just going to vote whoever you want.
Yep, you can't. You can never have an election if he's allowed to do that because, like, you don't have any proof of anything that you're saying. They was like, yeah, are there votes that don't happen? Yes, all the time. There's a few, but there's never a widespread enough thing that's going to do anything that to cause a re-trigger an election overturn. Never. And all of a sudden, out of all presidencies, out of all elections, because it's his. Again, he swore up and down it was election. It was voter fraud, all this automatically when he thought he was going to lose in 2016. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden he was cool with it. He won. Yeah. Oh, I guess it wasn't no fraud. Yeah, because you won. But now it's fraud because you're losing. That's not how this works. And that's why I think the courts, I believe if courts follow the law, which you would hope.
You would hope.
His own mouth works against him.
It does, but at the same time, people still say, yeah, he said that, but then he changed it to this. So it's definitely the second one. People are that stupid.
No, I get it. I fucking get it. It's just, it really is. I don't know if you want to even say baffling. It's just the fact that you're like, his own mouth has said it. There's been no proof. And the one person I'm supposed to believe that has evidence, the one dude I'm supposed to believe has evidence, doesn't know the difference between booking a Four Seasons hotel and Four Seasons total landscaping between a crematorium and a dildo shop. That's who I'm supposed to believe has all concrete proof.
Yeah.
Come on now. It makes no sense. Also, 9 different lawsuits have been dismissed off jump because you can't just sit there and say, yeah, there's voter fraud. How? Well, we know it is. That doesn't work. You need like, again, I'm one of those people, and I'll let you go after we clear this out. I'm one of those people that's like, if they got voter fraud, show me proof. I'll ride with you with it.
Exactly. Prove it. Just prove it.
Show
me documentation. Give me something.
Give me something. Give me something that says this is exact proof of what's happening. Yes. Don't give me some random person saying, hey, I'm not supposed to be making this video, but I'm making it. I'm a Democrat. Which when dude did that, I was like, that makes no sense.
Yeah. So stupid.
It's like if you got something solid and concrete that says that, then yeah, there's like, oh, well, all these people were registered to vote who did or didn't vote. Some people just don't vote. A lot of people are registered that just don't vote. They just don't want to do it.
Well, in some cases, he was saying once the polls close, you can't vote anymore, so they weren't allowed to vote.
No, this is the problem. He tried to set everything up so that black people primarily would not be able to vote. He literally was doing everything he could in every way to rig it for black people not to vote. That's why that's why his last ditch effort was fuck with the post office because everybody was going to do mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
Well, when the word got around how he was fucking with the post office, guess what everybody did? They didn't wait. They either mailed their shit in early or they dropped their shit off to make sure it didn't have to go through the post office. And
I put my shit in early. I put my shit in real early.
But then what you did was you sat there and said, okay, even if they get all these mail-in ballots or whatever, if they drop them in the ballot box, you can't count them until after the in-person votes close. Okay, so they're still in, so they're gonna get counted, but you just can't count them till after in-person voting is done. Fine. And that's exactly what they did. That's why he was like, how is it I lost my lead because I had to leave? Yeah, because all of your people showed up to the polls. There's no doubt about that. Your people showed up to the polls in mass. No doubt. But then them in-person, them voting ballots with everybody who didn't want to take that chance, you pretty much knew who the majority of them, who they were voting for.
Yeah.
And so it came in that way. He was like, oh, they just found no. These are the ballots you did not want them to count. You didn't want them to count till afterwards. And then the fact that it's counties that have a heavily black population that you knew you were supposed to have screwed over, Detroit and Pennsylvania, black cities, even Georgia and Texas, where you're supposed to screw these black people over, they found a way to vote. Now you can't, you're mad because everything you tried to set against them, it backfired.
Yeah.
So, but hey, man, look, we can keep this conversation going. Go ahead.
I got one more for you.
Go
ahead. This is not to do with voters. So this is some fun stuff we do in Chicago every February. You see, they moved it to December of next year.
I just saw.
Yes. So
I think that's weird though. That's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be cold.
Why. And that's why, and that's exact because you saying December 10th, you could fuck around and be in the middle of a snowstorm trying to plan C2E2.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be hella interesting. I get the reason that Repop did it. Mm-hmm. I get they want to be safe. I have nothing wrong with that. I'm 100% with that. Be safe completely. But to sit there and say again, because they moved Emerald City, because they run Emerald City as well in Washington. So they moved Emerald City to like the week before. Emerald City's like the week before, and I think the next week is C2E2 in McCormick Place. But the thing is, it's like the most that'll happen in Seattle is rain. You might get a little bit of snow, but you're not gonna get no snow.
True.
But like in Chicago, you finna get granted the crews at McCormick Place will, make sure the snow is cleaned out, but at the same time, you're dealing with snow, potential cold.
Freezing cold, yeah.
Freezing cold. And
I'm still gonna go.
And also, it's like you're doing it right before Christmas.
Yeah, that causes problems.
It works in two ways, because now, if a person is smart, depending on who you buying for, you use C2E2 to go Christmas shopping. But if you're not smart enough to realize that there's an up markup on a lot of shit at C2 at any comic book convention.
Yeah.
So again, it'll stay December. It's just gonna be real interesting. Like, the question is, will I be there? If I'm trying to get paid to work C2E2 this year, I'm not trying to come out there just to do shit for myself anymore or getting footage. I want to be actually working it, and so I'm trying to figure out who I need to talk to get on to moderate panels and shit like that. I'm be like, look, I just need to work the C2. I just need to work your shit. I need to work your shit. Moderate your panels. You do not have to put me up. I'm from here. Like, it's like, you don't have to. That's one of the things. If you look, I know y'all have rooms, but guess what? You don't have to.
Don't they have on Repop? Don't they have a section for like people who want to like moderate panels to put information in?
Well, no, it's to do your own panel.
Okay.
I want to do their panel. I'm talking about they shit on the main stage. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do their main stage shit.
I know what you're talking about. The big room.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that shit. And so I'm trying to do that and make some money off that. And like, I want to do that shit. Like, if I can, fine. But like 9 times out of 10, like I said, 9 times out of 10, I'll be there regardless. That's pretty much a given. I'll be there. I just want to be able to do more. Like, it's cool walking the floor. It's cool talking to people and shit like that and all this. It's fine, but I just want to do more. And that's what I want to do. Like, sci-fi isn't doing it anymore. So like, sci-fi's not doing it. So I can't go through that. And my plug that I had with sci-fi, ain't fucking with them no more like that. And so it's like, again, instead of having to fly motherfuckers out and put them up, like, yo, I can. That's why I tell you, certain, like, with anything you need done with Chicago, with a Comic-Con convention, look, I can get myself put up. Yeah. If you got the room just to have the room, yeah, you can put me in it. But I got my own connection. I can get around. Like, again, I'm at the crib. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So, all right, my brother, listen. It's always great talking with you, especially about all this shit. And I'm glad you learned your lesson on Giordano's. And again, when we get ready to knock this out real quick in a couple of weeks for December, we'll see what the world is like again, because it's so weird when you have to check back in a month and things change that much. Yeah. This is what 2020 has been.
Yeah, we've been going through this for like the last 10 years, so we'll see how it goes.
I don't think we've been through the last 10 years have been the last 8 months, though. I mean,
exactly.
You know,
it's like 2020 year 10. Like, it just keeps going. Jesus. Be happy when it's over.
Tell people how they can reach you on the Young Socials. I know you don't talk much on them, but they might want to send some love.
Hey, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Chi-Town Pyro. I should be somewhere around there.
He's there. Y'all already know where I am. Twitter, Instagram, Mr. J Washington. Everything else, you know how to find. I am done. So here's the thing. I know a lot of people keep asking, how can they join to do this one-on-one with the supervillain? Listen, I never thought that I was going to have this many people sign up for this tier. And I love the fact people signed up for it. But I have 10 people at this tier. That is it. That means I have to schedule 10 one-on-ones each month on top of everything else. So unfortunately, I can't do any more one-on-ones for a while until somebody drops off. And these people are staying around. So I don't mind it. You know, these people are staying around. So you might want to just join the squad and come hang in the Patreon and we'll talk on there. And then you jump into the Discord and shit like that. But look, it was like I'm grateful for everyone that is a part of the squad that's on this tier that wants to talk, because we have great convos. Like, and I get another thing I like to do aside of having great convos. I've gotten a lot of them, if you've not noticed, to come out of their shells. This motherfucker from the first one talked way more than what he did in the very first one.
Yes.
He's more comfortable, more loose and everything. And that's been a great part, a great evolution of this. But I will holler at y'all for the next one. Y'all take care. I'm out. Bye.